How's it going, everyone? And welcome to my backyard gardening YouTube channel, where I'm all about trying to help you guys grow as much of your own organic produce for as cheap as possible, as I'm doing the same thing. So today I'm going to be planting coffee, and I'm going to actually be planting it in containers, and we're actually in a really cool climate zone. So if at all during this video you find this interesting, just make sure you click on that subscribe button and then also hit the bell or ring the bell, and that way you'll stay notified whenever I post a new video. So planting coffee. So the coffee that I have is the variety Arabica, which is one of the main two varieties, probably most well known, which the other being the Robusta. The good thing about the Arabica variety is that it has a perfect flower. So the flower has both the male and female parts. So pretty much this means that it can self-pollinate, whereas the Robusta you need multiple trees to get good pollination and therefore a good crop. Now, coffee is a subtropical / tropical understory tree, so it does like a temperature of around 15 to 25 degrees Celsius with a bit of humidity. It also really hates being below 5 degrees Celsius, so make sure that you keep it in a spot that probably has the morning sun but is definitely sheltered from the hot afternoon sun and is definitely protected from frosts. Thing about the Adelaide Hills here in South Australia where I live is that we get frost here quite frequently, so I'm going to be making sure that I put it in a spot that has the morning sun but is definitely protected from our hot summer sun, afternoon sun, and also in a spot where I can easily protect it from frosts. Now, coffee is definitely summer active growing, and as being a tropical plant, it's used to slightly different conditions. So in summer, it's good to really give it a lot of water and give it a lot of nutrients as it puts in a new lot of flush of growth, which will then flower the following year. And then during winter, if you're not from a tropical sort of area, during winter, try and almost put it in a position or minimize the watering, just to put them under a bit of water stress, because this is just mimicking their natural environment in a tropical zone. And then when spring comes, when the warmer weather ramps up, then that way you also just ramp up the water. That way it will just really put on all of its energy into putting in new growth and really take advantage of those good growing conditions. And now onto the soil mix. So coffee is a fairly hungry feeder. It really likes its sort of major nutrients being nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus, and then also really likes some of the minor elements such as like zinc and iron. So basically the recipe that I'm going to be trying for growing this coffee is 3 parts potting mix to 1 part compost. And then I'm also going to be adding in a couple of good handfuls of blood and bone as a slow release fertilizer that also has some sulfate of potash for good flowering and fruit development in the further years to come. And then also going to be adding in a good handful of trace elements. So this will provide the things like the iron, the zinc, and also the boron and stuff like that. Those little nitty gritty picky sort of elements that coffee really needs to grow well. Okay, so now for planting. So I've made my growing media, and this is the root pouch. So this is the 30-litre root pouch, which is the first coffee is going to go into. So just first of all, I'm just going to make sure that it is centered and it's the right depth, which that is. I'm going to be growing it slightly under its original depth. So pretty much just be backfilling with the plant still in the pot. This way it will create a bit of a mold, and all that I'll have to do once the soil, sorry about that, now once the soil is filled up, all I'll have to do is take out the coffee out of its pot, and there'll already be a little hole for it to sit into. So I'll finish just filling this up. So that looks good, so now I'll just take it out. There you go, it's got a little mold for me. So this is starting to get a bit pot bound. Try and get the roots to be growing down already. So then firmly put that in the hole, push down around it, make sure it's straight. Now I'm just going to keep on backfilling just until it's reached the top. There we go, and then that is the first one potted up. So I'm going to be potting up the second one the exact same way, and then I'll just be showing you guys where I'm going to be positioning these in the best area for the weather and the conditions that we have here. So here you go, guys. This is where I have positioned my coffee. So as you can see, it's up against this brick slash slate wall, and as you can see, as the sun's shining on it, what that is going to do is actually, it's going to absorb all that heat and then actually radiate that heat back out when it starts to get a bit cooler at night, giving just the coffee plants a bit of an extended period of warmth. Also, it does actually receive the morning sun, so as you can look up there, the sun sort of rises in winter just by that house, and then in summer it gets more, it'll get a bit more morning sun. So it gets a bit of morning sun, and then this sort of shrub here is protecting it a bit from the sort of the middle of the day, the hot sun, especially in summer, but it does get a bit of filtered light through it, which is really good. And then in the afternoon, I'll just swing around, in the afternoon it gets just all of that clear sky out there, so it has that slightly cooler but still good sunlight, so this should be a really good position for it. So there you go, guys, that pretty much wraps up the growing coffee in a container video. So I'm really excited to see how the coffee plants actually do in this sort of climate. So we do have a bit of elevation. It is, like I said at the start of the video, quite cold here, especially in winter. It's very, very cold. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the coffee plants will actually grow in this sort of climate. So that is pretty much it. Before I do move on with the end parts, I do have to give out a massive shout out to my patrons. Thank you guys so much. You are all incredible. If you don't know what Patreon is, then there's a link in the description below that you can check out, or at the end a tile will be popping up around here. If you like that, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and if you have any comment suggestions or questions for me, or if you just want to say g'day, leave it in the comment section below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you want to see any more videos like this, growing food in containers, I'll leave a playlist down here. And otherwise, if you do want to subscribe and stay updated, make sure then you click on my face that will be popping up around here soon, or you click on the subscribe button down below, and also make sure that you tap on the bell. That way you just get an email notification whenever I post a new video, and you can come along and suss out what I'm talking about. So I hope you guys all like that, and I hope you're all having a cracker of a week, and I'll catch you on the next video.